There are more than 410,000 Seventh-day Adventists in the South Pacific, an area covered by 20 million square miles of ocean and only 3 million square miles of land.
Hi there, I'm Roger Millis, the Chief Pilot with Adventist Aviation here in Papua New Guinea. We're just about to head off for a fairly typical day. We've got nurses to take out to remote clinics. So why don't you join us? We've put some fuel on, we'll get the cargo loaded and we'll be on our way. Here in the South Pacific, we're very committed to mission, and that's what Adventist Aviation is all about, as well as the whole of the church's work in the South Pacific. Yep. Maima Fukangola Tupula here.
During the last 5 years, hundreds of people have become Adventist Christians when more than 40 churches were strategically planted in big cities and remote Pacific islands. New churches were planted in the Australian cities of Sydney, Melbourne and Perth. A Russian-language church was planted in the New Zealand city of Christchurch, and the first Adventist baptism ever was held on Wallis Island. Churches have been built in the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. A minister is now located on Nauru, and land has been donated for a church building. International evangelists joined local evangelists, pastors and lay people to proclaim the gospel. Mark Finley came to Melbourne. Doug Batchelor came to Sydney. And children's outreach programs were run at the same time.
You can see how rugged it is here in these highlands regions of Papua New Guinea, and this is the reason why aeroplanes are so essential to our ministry and the outreach of the church in this country. Hey, good fella looking you all Maima Fu. All young fella, you alright, huh? Hey, Papa!
Yes!
Hey, good fella looking you. By the way, this is a great chance to say thank you to church members around the world who, through the 13th Sabbath offering, church members throughout the South Pacific, through the Camp Mission offerings, made this great aircraft possible for us. This aircraft is proving itself every day in what we do that we've made the right choice. It gives us the power and the performance that we need to handle these rugged strips and airstrips. It's a rugged aircraft, it's standing up well. We've flown over 2,000 hours since we took delivery of it in 2007. Thank you very much. Okay, Olaine, you ready to come down?
Yes.
Me look at you worry liglig. Okay, vami kisim step ladder. As you can see, flying's not easy, and here in the South Pacific, we sure have our challenges too.
Yes, the South Pacific is full of challenges. In Australia, fires have destroyed lives and property, and there have been floods as well. In the Solomon Islands, Samoa and Tonga, church members have lost their lives following devastating tsunamis in 2009. A great challenge in the developing countries of the South Pacific is the lack of seating in churches. Churches are full and thousands have to sit outside. Pastor Gary Webster ran an evangelistic series in the Solomon Islands. He spoke to 1,000 people every night in the Cookham Church. But his support team had to erect 4 large projection screens outside because another 5,000 people turned up each night wanting to hear the gospel. A new multi-purpose centre was opened late 2009, the largest building in the Solomons, capable of seating 6,000 people.
We're going to have basketball courts there. We're going to have 6 volleyball courts, so it's going to be a sports centre as well for the young people of Honiara.
Church leaders plan to construct more such buildings in other South Pacific locations. There are 4 unions within the South Pacific Division. First, let me tell you about the New Zealand Pacific Union. The first outreach initiative on Wallis Island has reaped rewards following the granting of permission by the government of Seventh-day Adventists to conduct evangelistic meetings there. Almost all of Wallis's 10,000 inhabitants are Roman Catholics, and Protestantism is rarely practiced or welcomed. Some of those who attended were threatened with the loss of jobs if they persisted in attending the meetings. Fiafia Kavakava is one of the first 6 Wallis Islanders to become a Seventh-day Adventist.
Tout est centré dans la parole, la Bible, c'est-à-dire qu'on entend beaucoup de vérités, mais on cherche parfois une seule vérité en fait. Et cette vérité, je l'ai trouvée que dans cette église-là.
Although her family does not support her decision, Ms. Kavakava continues to pray for them and has big plans for mission on Wallis Island.
Australia is the largest island in the South Pacific. In fact, it's the largest island in the whole world. It's a land of beauty, but it's also a land of terror. There are wide expanses that are sparsely populated, but there are also very large city areas that are very densely populated that are becoming more and more secular all the time, which provide real challenges. There are exciting things happening with the indigenous communities throughout Australia also.
The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of Australia die on average 20 years younger than other Australians. So Mamarafa, a tertiary college for Aboriginals run by the church near Perth, now offers a diploma for Indigenous lifestyle health. Many students are baptised during the course of their studies. Adventists around the world gave an offering to help purchase the college land from the Western Australian government. And the 260 Aboriginal residents of Apatula, near the geographical centre of Australia, have asked for an Adventist Bible worker to move into their remote town. Half of the town's homes have satellite dishes installed so that they can watch the Adventist television channels. And Adventists from Adelaide are helping to build a Seventh-day Adventist church in the town. On Saibai Island, off the northmost tip of Australia, the first 6 baptisms have been held following a global mission outreach campaign in the Torres Strait run by Pastor Don Felberg.
Education continues to be core to the mission of the church here in the South Pacific. There are 46,000 students in 332 schools scattered across the territory. The church also operates tertiary institutions and universities. We have Avondale College in Australia, we have Pacific Adventist University here in Papua New Guinea, and in the nation of Fiji, an exciting development at Fulton College.
Deep in the valley,
Adventist membership grew rapidly in the South Pacific in the early 1900s. So the pioneers were keen to set up a tertiary college to train young people to take the gospel to the people of the Trans-Pacific region. Fulton College was established in 1940 in Fiji on an existing lease of land. But in 2007, after many requests over many years, the traditional landowners asked for their land back. Church leaders looked for a new site while examining how Fulton can become affiliated as a campus of Pacific Adventist University in Papua New Guinea. A search committee found a 50-hectare site just minutes from Fiji's Nadi International Airport. The Christian owner agreed to lease this land to the church for 99 years, with automatic renewals thereafter. The new location means students can travel easily. It is well serviced with water, phones, power and security.
And then we can have the dormitories over there, and then we have the water running across our properties.
And the land is very fertile, so crops can be grown by the students and sold through the local market. 6 months ago, Adventists around the world gave an offering to ensure the viability of this strategic relocation.
The local communities here depend very much on Adventist aviation to get their produce out to market. We've got garden produce, we've got peanuts, and we've got cash crops here today. That is their tithes and offerings and their school fees for the next year. Fulton College provides the spiritual and the academic training for many of the young people across the Trans-Pacific. It's an area that is mainly ocean but is dotted by many small islands and atolls. About 100,000 church members in that area, in 450 churches and over 600 companies, spanning over 6 countries altogether. Today we have a group of Adventist nurses on board, going out to conduct clinics in these remote mountain areas here that we're flying over. But for over 100 years, the Adventist Church in the South Pacific has helped people to live healthier, happier lives. The Sydney Adventist Hospital is one of the largest private hospitals in Australia. Every year, over 2,500 staff members provide surgical, medical and wellness services to more than 50,000 inpatients and 150,000 outpatients. Here in the developing countries like Papua New Guinea, the church has embarked on a significant program called Adopt a Clinic to improve the rural health services. This is making a huge difference, and people are excited here in New Guinea and throughout the South Pacific about this initiative.
Some island medical clinics were established 100 years ago. But all 54 have deteriorated to the point where they have little or no equipment and poor facilities. In most cases, the small clinics are the only places where people can receive medical attention or give birth. Australian and New Zealand churches have been encouraged to adopt a clinic in an islander community and renovate it. Rodney Horn, with help from the congregation at the Dandenong Polish Seventh-day Adventist Church, raised $16,000 to begin sponsorship of one clinic in the Solomon Islands. Another church donated new equipment, including an outboard motorboat, to the clinic they adopted. Containers full of donated equipment have been packed and sent to help equip each clinic. Water and clean facilities have now been restored to most clinics.
I'm delighted to report that across the South Pacific there is an exciting renewal of Adventist health work.
And a left base, report final 35 right, 1017. Well, we're into the valley here again, just about to land, and so just enough time to tell you about 2 other entities that share the Adventist mission and values here in the South Pacific.
Since 1898, Sanitarium has continued to successfully share the church's health and well-being philosophy with the community. Sanitarium Wheat Bix remains the #1 breakfast cereal in Australia and New Zealand. So Good continues to be Australia's #1 soy milk and a leading brand in New Zealand. Liquid breakfast Up and Go is becoming so popular in Australia and New Zealand that it may soon challenge Weet-Bix's #1 position.
Fibre of 2 Weet-Bix of milk. What gets you up in the morning?
Moving forward, Sanitarium is now using state-of-the-art robotics equipment to streamline its production. As part of Sanitarium's philosophy for caring for our communities, Sanitarium's Good Start Breakfast Club, in partnership with the Red Cross, served more than 800,000 free breakfasts across Australia last year. And last year, New Zealand Prime Minister John Key applauded Sanitarium's involvement in the community.
The reality is that companies like Sanitarium, they're out there with real sense of corporate responsibility. They're putting back into the community.
More than 32,000 children participate each year in the Sanitarium Weet-Bix Kids Tri-Athlon series. All of Sanitarium's operating profits are returned to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the South Pacific to assist the church in its mission.
It was on the eve of All Saints' Day, October the 31st, 1517.
The highly acclaimed Keepers of the Flame and Search video documentaries have been successful tools used by the World Church. And the Signs and Record magazines have become the oldest continuous publications in Australia's history. Now, a significant restructure of the Signs Publishing Company and Adventist Media has dynamically integrated print, video and web. Beyond is a $1 million multimedia evangelistic series being produced by the Adventist Media Network. The series will provide the World Church with a brand new soul-winning resource. It Is Written Oceania is now the most popular religious program on Australian TV, and is also being broadcast in New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. The new In Focus Christian News and Current Affairs program is being broadcast on Foxtel in Australia and Shine TV in New Zealand, and will continue to position Adventists as having a credible contribution to make to Christianity. And more than $3 million has been invested into a new printing press at the Warburton campus in Victoria, ensuring the future of publishing in the South Pacific.
The Papua New Guinea Union Mission is the 4th union here in the South Pacific. It's the largest by membership, with over 250,000 church members officially. However, on any given Sabbath there can be as many as 1 million young people and adults worshipping in Sabbath school and church. This produces huge challenges for the church here in Papua New Guinea in terms of nurturing that membership and providing pastoral support and care to those members. Well, here we are, just about to land, and it looks like we've got a good crowd expecting us, which is fairly typical out in these remote strips. It's the biggest event of the day.
Meet Madeline. Madeline is a short, energetic and very powerful and excited missionary woman. 4 years ago, Madeline taught 3 women in June Valley how to read. She used the Bible as her textbook because she did not have other books or resources to use. If one of the ladies could not understand her, Madeline and the other 2 simply prayed. And it always worked. After the prayer, the one who could not understand found they could. The group grew as others wanted to learn how to read too. First there were 100, then 200, then 400, and hundreds of children came as well. Now they are baptized Seventh-day Adventist members, and the church leaders have organized the group into a branch church. In 2010, Madeline continues to lead and teach about the Bible and Jesus to the people who join her literacy class. 70 other literacy schools like Madeline's have now been started in Papua New Guinea.
because God's people, they believe beyond believable.
In 2009, more than 650 delegates from across the South Pacific attended the first ever Festival of Mission in Queensland, Australia. The delegates discussed the strategic direction of the church for the next 5 years. They shared their ideas and concerns with church leaders, including Division President Barry Oliver. Delegates said the praise and worship modelled a new way forward, and keynote speakers Hyveth Williams and Jose Rojas set the tone for deeper spirituality. Pastor Rojas said that he had never seen anything like the Festival of Mission anywhere else in the world. It's estimated that millions of people in Papua New Guinea are unable to read the Bible. Back in the 1950s, Sid Stockton used finger phones to share the gospel.
I took a little time to teach Nanako how to operate the machine. After a few strange sounds, he did very well.
And today, Chief Pilot Roger Millist has travelled to this remote community to bring them the 21st century version of the fingerphone.
It contains the whole Bible in talk pidgin, read and produced by Pacific Adventist University. This project is made possible by It Is Written Oceania and church leaders here in Papua New Guinea.
These single-piece audio pods have a powerful built-in speaker and do not need batteries, which are expensive in many developing countries. Now they can hear the Word of God.
How's him? You heard him good? Him good? You hamamas? Yes. You like him or not? Well guys, see you later. We've got a lot to do too in the South Pacific as well as here in Papua New Guinea.
Yes, there still is a lot of work to be done here in the South Pacific. Thank you for sharing with us the excitement of experiencing our God at work. Please pray for us and join us as together we write the final chapters of God's missionary epic. Here we are involved in really innovative mission for our God.